Hi, my name is Emma Baginski. This is Emma Baginski, Art and Whimsy, my YouTube channel. Welcome. I'm an artist and I'm currently working on the biggest project I've ever tried to tackle. I'm working on a Silly Goose themed tarot deck, so that means I have to make 78 illustrations, all different for each of the cards, and all of them have different meanings. I printed them out. I printed some of the ones that I've completed so far out, and it's just cardstock, so this isn't what the final product is gonna look like at all. I just thought it would be fun to like kind of see them. So it is nice to see them kind of like in their own, like in the correct like size, because now I feel a lot better about the level of detail I put in. Each week I randomly pick 3 cards, and this week we're working on, we have the 2 of Cups, the 3 of Pentacles, and the Star. All right, let's kick this bad boy off with the 2 of Cups. The cup suit corresponds with the water element, which symbolizes emotions. Just a heads up, I had some technical difficulties this week, so I don't have the full recording for this card. So we're gonna start most of the way through. Oops. And by technical difficulty, I do mean I did just forget to record the first half of the card. The 2 of Cups symbolizes a emotional connection. A lot of the times it means like love and harmony and union. It can be like 2 people. It could be you and someone else. Like a romantic connection. It could be a friendship connection, business connection. It could be literally any kind of connection. You know, sometimes when you start a hobby or something, and then you're like, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is fun. I like doing this. I'm gonna do this a bunch. Like that too. It's like when I came up with the idea to do a Silly Goose Tarot Deck, and then I was like, yep, it's happening. Let's do it. Sometimes things just speak to you, you know, and you can't explain it, and you just gotta do it. This card can also mean an inner union between 2 different parts of yourself. Depending on the spiritual practice, there's like, 2 opposing forces generally, like the yin and the yang energy. And so the 2 of Cups can symbolize like an inner union or inner harmony within yourself if you're not focused on like, things outside of you. You're using tarot more as like an internal inner practice. That's more like how I like to use tarot. I'm already happily married, so I'm not asking God and the spirits about like my future spouse, you know. I genuinely believe that the only thing I have control over is myself, so that's kind of what I'm putting my energy into at the moment. When you have a good relationship with yourself and you find that like inner balance and inner harmony in love within you, it's much easier to have healthy relationships with others. You can be in a room full of people and still be lonely. You can be in bed next to your spouse and still be lonely. And you can be all by yourself with no one around and be content. And it has everything to do with your inner emotional state. I remember being a young teenager and like really wanting to be in a romantic relationship, and I was like think thoughts like, oh, if only I could be in a romantic relationship, then I'll be happy and I wouldn't be sad or lonely anymore. And to my 14-year-old self, all I have to say is, ha, nope, that's not how it works. And obviously quality of the relationship and your compatibility with your partner will have a big impact on like how lonely you feel. But the biggest impact is honestly how you feel about yourself. Your partner could tell you a million times that they love you over and over again, and you can still feel that empty void inside your chest, and that's on you, baby. To me, the 2 of Cups is a lot about committing to the person that I want to be. So over the weekend, for Mother's Day, me and Shane went to a psychic fair, and that was really cool. It was at like a whiskey distillery near me, and it was packed. Holy crap, I did not think it was going to be that busy. There were like 5 or 6 like vendors, and they were all like tarot readers and like, you know, spiritually kind of people. And I was good. I went for market research purposes. I also, you know, had fun, but it was crazy how busy, like, and how like it gave me confidence and a lot of ideas for when I want to do like art booths and art fairs and stuff later, and like stuff I can do with my own tarot deck.
And that brings us to the 3 of Pentacles. This card symbolizes expression, production, work, contribution, collaborations, and learning. At one of the booths at the fair I went to, a woman had a tarot deck she made fanned out, and you could pay $5 and you drew a card and you got to keep the card, and she would like do like a little 1 card like reading super quickly, and I thought that was a great idea. So I paid her $5 and I drew the Ace of Pentacles, and on her card she drew like the ace was like a sun coming up over some mountains and some flowers were blooming. So she told me that that the seeds that I've planted will start to bloom, and if that was true, that would be really dope. And you know, I feel like that's true. I really liked how the cards turned out this week. They came pretty easily to me. I didn't struggle as much as some of the past ones. Especially this card. I did it in one sitting and I just like banged it out. I even used my pal ChatGPT. I was trying to brainstorm some ideas, and they said egg mosaic, and I was like, oh, absolutely, thank you, robot overlord. By the way, I always say please and thank you to ChatGPT, so when the robots take over, they'll be like, nah, this one's good, and then they'll leave me alone. At least that's my hope. We'll see. I know everything's doom and gloom about like AI and all that stuff, and while yes, parts of it will absolutely suck ass, but some of it's pretty cool. Never before in human history have I been able to collaborate with a robot. Also, full transparency, I use ChatGPT to write my video descriptions because no actual human is reading that. I don't think, okay, if you read my descriptions, then like, you know, sound off in the comments, but I highly doubt it. The only thing that is reading my description is the YouTube algorithm to decide who to recommend videos to, and you're just supposed to fill it with a bunch of keywords. So I just make robot do that because only other robots are reading it, and I think that's fair game. I think that's ethical. Feel free to argue with me in the comments. I could use some engagement on my videos. This card also kind of symbolizes to me taking pride in your work. I know producing stuff and posting it on social media only to get like very little to like no engagement can be pretty disheartening. Especially when you see like sludge content and rage bait do really well on the internet. But the reality of the situation is I'm really not posting for other people. I don't care that much. I mean, like, it would be cool because I could monetize the channel if like a lot of people watched it. But like, if nobody does, you know, my life doesn't change. These videos are for me. It's kind of like a diary almost. But the fun part about that is that if I get value out of it, other people might get value out of it. You know, it's a win-win. I follow a lot of different creative type people on the internet, or especially on YouTube, and I watch them and I get inspired. So I feel like, you know, making that kind of content, you know, is what vibes with me. I like watching more like mundane art vlogs, like week by week type videos. You know, that's where the magic happens. I feel like a lot of the internet focuses on like the over the top, extreme, exciting, like unachievable moments in life. But like that's like such a small portion of what life is like. Most days are mundane. Most days are boring. Most days nothing like really exciting happens. I think us humans were like almost trained to never accept or want the status quo. And you know, that in some ways is a good thing, but in some ways it means that you're never satisfied, and that is a problem. I think if you look at life another way, the true magic is in the mundane, boring things. Those small little everyday things are adding up to a much bigger picture. A mosaic, if you will. And if for some reason you do want to change your life, congratulations, you don't have to do it all at once. Just slow little steps and changing some pieces here and there is all it takes.
So what is it a surprise that people are like, you know what, fuck this, like I'm done, like I just, like, I don't want to deal with this, I don't want to live this life. What's the point of it? Yeah, it's like, what are you, like, what are you working towards? I think that's really what the problem is that, like, people don't have a North Star.
The star card symbolizes hope, optimism, possibilities, and healing. I was born an optimist. I always look for the best in any situation, much to the dismay of those around me. Some people find positivity annoying, and that's their prerogative. And, I don't take it personally. I think being an optimist is a lot about seeing the potential in things. Like, you see things for what it is, and then what it could be. And honestly, I think humanity's got this in the bag. I think we're about to alley-oop this shit. The first step to fixing problems is to identify the problem. And oh boy, are we very good at doing that right now. I feel like every video that gets recommended to me right now is just like everything wrong with everything everywhere. And I know progress is a very slow march, but like ever since we figured out computers, like humanity's been on fast forward mode. I can't even begin to even imagine what 2034 is gonna look like. And I'm only gonna be 37, like still pretty young in the grand scheme of life. I imagine that like with a mix of AI and like 3D printing software, we could get those Subnautica fabricators like pretty quick. There are currently 3D printed homes being made right now. Some people might question my decision to start my art career after the advent of AI art. But honestly, the idea of a bunch of tech companies pumping billions of dollars into creating technology like this truly helps me understand the value of my creative skills. The coolest part about art is not the final product. It is not in the picture itself. It's through viewing that piece of artwork, you get to connect to a temporary soul that may or may not exist anymore. You can go to an art museum right now and connect to a bunch of dead people. My local art museum has like a bunch of medieval stuff in it, and that's cool as hell. The craftsmanship, the detail. You can also see how art changed and developed through the centuries. I think it's very easy to just think that we're the final product. But in the wise words of Billy Joel and Pete Wentz, we didn't start the fire. We're not done cooking. We're still going. We're still growing. Things are still changing. Art's gonna keep changing. I'm so excited to see what the future holds. I think it's important to keep a sense of scale. I heard a quote one time, people often overestimate the amount of stuff that can get done in 1 year, but underestimate the amount of stuff that can get done in 10 years. I think becoming a parent really helped me with that. In 10 years, Theodore will still only be 11 years old. And while I don't see my career taking off within the next year, I feel pretty good about setting my sights for the future in the next 10 years. Hopefully, the goal is to start living it up in my 40s. Will that happen? You'll just have to subscribe to find out. I had technical difficulties, so these are the cards that I finished this week. They are different than the end of the speed paints, but you know, sometimes you just get technical difficulties.
Now I can shuffle them and draw some cards. Let's draw a card for the end of the video, shall we? It's blown up. There we go. You know, you can see it. It's a card of hard work and investments and perseverance. Yeah. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Hello, YouTube.
Oh, I did it in the wrong order.
Oh no.
So silly like
You
that.
fool.